Peace, peace, peace. Give honor to Source. Give honor to the divine. Give honor to the ancestors known and unknown as we celebrate this ever-changing, shifting moments. As you can see, we're all either going through something similar to all of this as you see in nature. That's why I love coming out here, just being with myself, creating videos in nature per se, because a lot of this helps me stay grounded. It helps me be with myself. It helps me, do things that receive clarity, receive the answers, get the nudges that I need. Give this to yourself, man. It ain't no excuses. Make time. I know people say they don't have. Make a conscious effort. I don't care if it's 5, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour. Give it to yourself. You have to, because that's something that needs to be received. That's something, some type of clarity, some type of inkling, some type of whatever you want to call it, nudge that you will receive. I want to give y'all this view because, again, it's like inviting you into my reality, my world right now. How this is reflecting not only what I'm going through, but the balancing of, a lot of us are probably seem like we're in between worlds right now with the shifts that we're leaving something, it's dying away. That's why I want to talk about the harvest season, which some may call autumn or fall. But the significance of all of that is what I'm going to speak about in essence to that. Oh, I'm trying to hold my phone up with my shirt. I'm doing the very best that I can, okay? But anywho, to even speak about that, we're going to talk about, again, the harvest season. And just other things y'all know how I do, go into other things that's relatable to that. First and foremost, shout out to you. Yeah, give yourself a hug. And breathe. A lot of us are in the moments where we're giving ourselves love now. The love that we didn't receive. We didn't know how it looked. We didn't know that's another topic I'm going to talk about, child development. Oh, are y'all ready for this? Take a moment. I'm going to let you, all right, come on in. Look at this. Breathe. Hug on yourself. I love myself. I love loving me. This is a part of healing. Reaffirming yourself. Affirmations. Things that, again, it's still things as this healing journey, what you want to call awakening. Let me tell you something. It's a lifelong thing. That things, again, when I'm going to speak about child development and also things that I've been experiencing, I just to make it through the day is enough. So give yourself big ups to you. Shout out to you that's honoring your truth, having the courage to speak your truth. How challenging, how uncomfortable that may be to those that aren't relatable or are fighting their own internal battle and or are so set in their ways that they don't see the healing, that they're ignoring the shadow aspect of who they are. They're ignoring their insecurities or anything that they're refusing to receive. Not only has nothing to do with you, but in essence, as you elevate and get to a place, you will realize that these people and or people, beings, are fighting their own spiritual warfare, going through their own, going and getting through their own experience the best way they know how. That's something that I've sat here and learned because I realize that I'm naturally, as the more I become in tune, I'm naturally just picking up on these energies of how certain things want to come in and try their best to just intervene. I want to give y'all a good shot. Intervene or think they're going to interrupt what it is that interrupt anything that I'm creating. Let me see, is that a better view? So yeah, I'll give y'all that right there. So again, I'm just noticing the patterns of these energies and certain things that I immediately counter. See, as you become more in tune with self, you'll realize, like, as these things come in, you'll be able to counter it. You'll be able to recognize it because you've already recognized it within yourself. That make a lot of sense? Okay. If it doesn't, let it fly. Let it roll off. As the elder told me, let it roll off your back let it roll off like water off a duck's back. Let it roll off. But just take a moment and give gratitude to your health wherever you are. It could be worse. Give gratitude for the food you have, $5. I don't care what you have. Just take a moment and give gratitude. I'm grateful to have the health, to have the breath, to have the courage to be able to share with you all just whatever I'm experiencing right now. I'm not obligated. I just look at the bigger picture, and I'm realizing just how aware I'm becoming, and how more and reclaiming my own true essence and power, nurturing my inner child daily, reaffirming my inner child daily, how it is I'm able to just recognize the woundedness and shadow in everyone else, and most importantly myself, bringing it back to myself. And going to speak about the childhood well-being, I came across a post, and I'm going to talk about harvest season, so I'll probably start with that. Childhood well-being and childhood development. So let me say that, because I probably said it a different way. But y'all will enjoy this view. And let's see. I came across this post via Facebook, and a sister, I want to say her name is it Yumi? And I do not want to butcher her last name, but I know it's Yumi, and it starts with a J. She does a lot of things dealing with astrology, a lot of things she dives so deep into. So Yumi, I think it's UMI. And more so, I think it starts with a J. So you can look that up, and whatever resonates, go with it. Whatever doesn't, you don't have to force it. So anywho, getting into that, there was a post that she did her research on, and it was connecting the astrology aspect to the fact of how we develop or childhood development and our well-being is, and how we learn how important the first, she put it, I believe it was like 0 to 3 years of age. And this is so vital, because how many of us can really go back to that moment where we recall or remember what happened? Because in some of my other videos, I talk about how we just assume that things have just happened, and that we just, it's like it's so funny to me how I'm talking about this, because it seemed like we try to dumb down children, or try to make it seem like they're not already consciously aware or already intelligent or advanced as they are, but see how this world has put them in that narrative or categorize them as if they're really learning from us, and in reality we're learning from them, or everyone's learning from each other. And I'm going to also connect this to the princess that I'm connected to, and also had the honor to co-create with my partner, how she's at the age now being 2, and coming into 3, how that is so vital from what we're learning, and what they call it, the sponge aspect of how, okay, the wind's gonna blow, let's see, stay up, from what they call 0. But those of us that are like, that are aware spiritually, we know that whatever the mother is going through and grandmother has went through genetically, or ancestrally, that is passed through the wombs, because we're talking about behaviors, we're talking about natural abilities or spiritual gifts, some may call it. And so again, but if I could, I would say, like, from the more like human perspective, or how people or researchers or science, whatever you want to call them, have studied these things, is that they call it the sponge aspect. And you can do your research on this, is that how that child from being here, the 0 aspect, to 3, is how they soak up, by looking, hearing, eating. They're learning their well-being, and the child is developing their well-being, or developing what it is to operate in this world, and more so, on this earth's plane, and more so the behaviors, whatever happened through that, whatever happened in that moment, is like, are they learning what it is to be healthy, the eating habits, the behavior patterns, the people in their life, just seeing. It's like, just imagine, like, I'm holding a child, and everywhere I'm going, they're going, and this mother is being their caretaker, The father is there. So all of that, we're talking about childhood development. The reason why this is so vital, because it goes back to the roots, and it's how I'm going to connect the harvest aspect of the tree, which is harvest season. It's like that child is like you are that seed in essence. So follow me here. It's like an analogy. You are that seed, but you also are that tree. That tree aspect is also like the family tree, or how we're all connected. And you are that seed, and in essence, that seed is the fruit from that family tree. So going to childhood development, think about and ponder on what you learned and what you absorbed from not just being in your mother's womb emotionally, physically, what she experienced, the traumas, but outside of that in the physical aspect. How many of us growing up in nurturing environments? Some of us who were in abusive environments. A lot of us that were in environments that we didn't feel safe. And so now that we're recovering and trying to restore that feeling of being safe and secure, not only physically, but it all connects to you emotionally, mentally, spiritually. So in essence, this is where the terms comes in, like we have more than one body in a sense, or like astrologically or, cosmically speaking. And this is about more of a conscious awareness. It's like you're talking about how all of these bodies or your physical aspect were affected. And so now we're reversing that aspect of being restored. So imagine a tree in these environments, you are that tree or that seed that has been planted wherever you are positioned on the earth's plane, and not receiving the nurturing. Because plants, those of you old plant mamas and fathers, how important it is to speak life into your plant. So imagine, ponder on, were you spoken life to? And then not only that, the guardians or parents that you had, did they really know their value? Because you don't hear a tree trying to convince anyone of their value. It knows that it is a tree. The tree knows its purpose. It serves its purpose. It isn't concerned about how other trees view them. So going back to the well-being and doing that sponge aspect, we have learned so much of a dysfunctional, imbalance, chaotic way of being. All of us have been affected by this. So socially, mentally, emotionally, all these things. So again, my own experience, I was talking to my partner, I was like, wow, what I wonder what happened with do we even ask ourselves this? What went on with my mom during that time? And a lot of us that think about what your mother went through emotionally, the emotional disconnect she had, and physically the disconnect she had with a lot of fathers that wasn't there. We don't realize how important this is because it plays a vital role in what your role and how you act out your role in your character in this life, and how it has affected and will affect even the ones that come after you, your kids and so forth. That's how vital this is. So again, me speaking about this is like, it made me ponder on like, well, for one, I have sisters that are by different men. This is not to devalue or attack my mother or anything. I'm recognizing the trauma, the discord, the dysfunctionality, the imbalances, and where it is going back matriarchally, trying to connect the dots on, well, where it is, and it's not trying to live this out or do this for my mother. It's like where it is to connect the dots where the wounding was inflicted, and how it has affected me, and how it has affected not only her, but how what she was affected by, and whom she was whom the pain was inflicted by, and how that has affected all women. And so when you really step back and see the bigger picture, and you see how when you look at the women. Pay attention. Look at the women and men in your family, in your diaspora, or whatever you want to call it, your structure. Is there true structure, authenticity, divine, like love? And I don't mean love to where stuff brush up under the rug and I love you too thick. And it's not so much of that. It's the honesty that comes with the love. Because love can look different in a lot of different ways, but I mean self-love, honoring self, respecting self, the self-care. Because we know, and this is why I always express to people like, and I tell myself, I'm like, ain't nobody got it all. No one got it all together. Let's be fucking real here. No one got it all together. I'm talking to elders that are 60, 70, and I'm seeing the immaturity on people who haven't faced themselves but project onto people who are 30, 20, whatever it is, because they haven't faced their stuff that they have went through. And they're still blaming mom and dad, but they'll never tell you. So again, it makes me really go to the root of the cause of the well-being. Well, what were their experiences? And it's not to justify anything. It shows that a lot of us are those, because of how distorted the divine masculine or the masculine energy, what some may see as the man, but we all carry these energies in a way of how we act it out, or how we how could I say? It's like the water, how we move these energies, and these energies are really like masculine. It's the action aspect of how we do things, or how we like the illumination of that. The feminine aspect is a lot with what we don't see. Ponder on that. The feminine is like, imagine like a lot of things that haven't been said, haven't been spoken of, things that we do not see, the things that have not, I said that, haven't been spoken or goes unsaid or brushed up under the rug, that's lingering in the dark. And so you have these people or certain things, beings, that are trying to find their best to attack those that have already went through that dark aspect and now have mastered that and now accepted that and now have no reason to hide from that which they went through, so they express it unapologetically. Now ponder on those that haven't went through that stage or went through that experience or that process. So going to the well-being and connected it to the princess is that I sit there and I observe her. It's not so much of just, as in just observing, it's just like sitting back, seeing myself and seeing like how she is learning her own emotions. She is at a place of innocence. Now think about a lot of what we have experienced. We were projected on, devalued in so many ways, to where that tree, which is you, represented by you, or that seed that was planted, hasn't been watered. It's been trampled over. It's been stepped on, to where the growth that it's not, the growth has happened. But see, that's the thing where you have to see. See, the growth is already, you're still here. You are the growth. You still have been growing, but can you see that you need to water you instead of looking for others to water you? Because they don't know what it is to water themselves. Because when you go back to the root cause of your childhood development, truthfully, what have you developed? And I had to acknowledge this, the dysfunctionality from my childhood up to now. I had to acknowledge that development was only creating imbalance, creating chaos, creating disharmony. It wasn't creating a life that I saw was beautiful or that I love. And now seeing that and acknowledging that, I'm able to move forward. Because if I don't recognize and go to the root, you being the tree, if I don't go to the root, the things that are in the dark, I tell y'all about, the roots are in the dark, the things that, again, what is the root cause of this behavior? What is the root? What is the reason behind why this is happening? How can I change it? That's where accountability comes in. Now, how many of us had guardians or people who really were taught through childhood development? What were their parenting? What did they learn? Because a lot of us didn't have certain people, parents or guardians who, first of all, When you're talking about self-care and self-love, that's being accountable for self. That's knowing that you first are accountable for your well-being. You're responsible for you first, your emotions, your well-being, all those things in the totality of that. Not only that, you're also talking about learning to be self-sufficient. It's like when you look at nature, a lot of things reflect so much of who we are. The mama bird pushes the bird out. So how I'm gonna connect that with you? The mama bird naturally, all her projections and all of what she literally, these people are catalysts. They're literally pushing you out of their life. But can you see that? Can you counter that and receive yourself? They're pushing you out only to see yourself. Let me say that. They push you out so you can see yourself. Reflection. So you can see you. Because you're not going to see it sometimes until we're not around these very people we were so codependently on or so emotionally attached to, which were people that were gaslighters, emotionally manipulative, energy vampire, just so many things that, again, that they never acknowledge, whether spiritually, mentally, emotionally, because it was you. It's always been you, the generational curse breaker, the one that has to acknowledge these things. And then as you come to this knowing, then you're having to see, because it's two sides to a coin. So you have to see that, man, the same thing that I want to ignore and run from is the same thing. What's that saying goes? Everything I'm not made me everything I am. So it's like in nothing, there is everything. So in as much as we don't want the storm and the rain, we need it for nourishment. We need the storm to come to clear the way. Sometimes and that's why I say sometimes it's a balance. We need those people that come and project sometimes in a sense. It's not to say that you have to accept it, but can you counter it and acknowledge, like, okay, this is only showing me to redirect and really pay attention to what the fuck I got going on. If I give them my energy, who could I really blame? If I give so much to this externally, well, that's okay to do that sometimes, because as long as you come back and pour into you. See, we didn't have that demonstrated to us. We didn't have those in our lives. We're unhealing and unlearning so much of dysfunctionality and trauma and imbalances to where we're now, a lot of us. I had a caterpillar out here. And it's showing me like that symbolism to where a lot of us at the caterpillar place, some of us are the butterfly. So I haven't ever saw a caterpillar, in the same place with butterfly. They may be in they may be in the same place, but their mindset and their heart and their being is at another level. It doesn't mean that the butterfly doesn't come every once in a while to come down, because it does come to the ground sometimes. It feeds, or it goes everywhere. It's not limited. The caterpillar is. The caterpillar doesn't have wings to fly. So that analogy that I'm giving you is that, are you willing to change and not be so focused on if someone else is externally? Are you willing to die of that old aspect of you? And I mean in a metaphysical aspect. Are you willing to let go? And that means past aspect. I even tell myself that too. Energetically, sometimes I have to tell myself, like, am I still holding on to this? Because they're not. I can't say that they are. And even if they are, that doesn't mean I have to. That doesn't mean you have to. Just because someone is holding on to the idea, and I'm seeing this play out so much in as you evolve and as you elevate, the chatter is going to be on the ground where the caterpillar can only go but so far and do so many things until it decides that it wants to find its way to a higher elevation, seclude itself, which in that cocoon, in that darkness, where it is by itself, which most people haven't really sat and been with themselves. Because in that being with yourself, some people either are afraid of that, they run from it, or they cannot stomach. They're afraid to face those things. So when you are facing these darkness, the skeletons in your closet, accepting, you truly embrace and go back. When I mean back, the past is an aspect of not only the past versions of yourself, but you go back to the past versions of yourself and recover the aspects of yourself that no longer you see as the victim aspect. And then you recover those fragments. You tend to those wounds of the past. You tend to the wounds that mama and daddy and generations before you either didn't have the duration, or they did have, you know, the duration. I will say that. Let me correct that. They did have, but some people chose not to. Think about that. Look at the people in your life that's choosing to be this. And and then choosing you, of course there's going to be a rebuttal. Of course there's going to be resistance on their part. But can you be like this? See, it's calm and it's flowing, but everything out there is ever changing. And this leads me right into the autumn aspect. You are the tree. You have always been the tree. When you create your own tribal or family tree, you're not, why would you continue? You are the generational curse breaker. You are supposed to do everything different that doesn't look familiar to the rotten fruit. It's not, and the reason why they're rotten because it's dying away. It served its purpose. It's rotten because it didn't see its value. It saw its value in external rather internal, because last time I checked, the seed of the apple or the fruit is inside. So where does the value truly lie? Within. And Spirit putting it on me. And the thing about these rotten fruit is that when you taste something and you know it's rotten, see, you've had your taste of people. And see, sometimes we want to keep tasting it and not realizing, like, we're expecting the taste to be different. And in reality, we know that this, See, as you elevating your mindset, going to the caterpillar, going to the butterfly, they may be in the same environment, but that butterfly is on a mission. And what is it on a mission to do? Butterflies, the monarch especially, migrates around the world. Migrates to places the caterpillar won't ever see. The butterfly migrates, travels to places that the caterpillar is either afraid to see, or not saying that it's not willing to change, but the caterpillar, they don't decide. See, I feel like the caterpillar is living off faith. The butterfly has already chosen its destiny by choosing to liberate itself, to be sovereign. That doesn't mean it answers to self, to source, to the divine. See, the caterpillar is finding its way, inching along, trying, the butterfly has to migrate. Has to, has to co-create and create with other butterflies. Did you hear that? That means your mindset, your awareness, your consciousness, all that you are, this higher level of awareness, is that some of y'all too afraid to leave these people in caterpillar places when you're a butterfly. Get the fuck on. See, one thing about that butterfly, it had to leave everything behind. Did you hear me? Did you hear what I said? It had to leave everything behind. Everything that it thought or perceived that was valuable, it had to die away. And it had to see itself in a new light. A caterpillar has to decide whether it wants to decide to have wings and to accept and to embrace those wings. In that caterpillar stage, it's in this darkness. So metaphysically, I feel like the caterpillar has accepted in that darkness everything that it chose to run from. That seclusion was like a meditative spot aspect of just being there, just being, then coming out and slowly unfolding into a butterfly. No one knows what that looks like. No one knows what your life, no one knows what it is to walk in your shoes but you and your connection to your higher power. No one knows better in your decision making, consciously, intentionally, even from the past when it was unintentional. But now it's intentional. See, that butterfly has intentions on knowing that I'm liberated. I'm who I am. I don't care how the world, what it says about me. It's going to talk about me, whether I'm here or not. But it's about me leaving my mark, knowing that I stood in my own power. I stood up for truth. Because a lot of you are here to do that for your lineages. To recover that aspect, literally, to recover that aspect of authenticity, divine love, balance, truth. That inheritance can look different for everyone. A peace of mind, peace in your spirit, because all the trouble and all the havoc and all the dysfunctionality, all the things that your mothers, your grandmothers, your great-grandmothers, your forefathers, your great-grandfathers, all of them, sons and daughters that had to go through, and we dare complain? Fuck out of here, man. Of course you're going to be attacked, because these people know nothing about what it looks like to be you, to stand in your shoes, to experience what you've experienced. Because these are the same people as caterpillars in comfortable environments. They stay there and they die there. Because that's what this is, this lifetime. Are you going to choose to evolve into that butterfly and not give a fuck what people have to say about you? Then you go breed and co-create with caterpillars. I mean, with a butterfly. Caterpillars and butterflies do not migrate. Do not co-create together. It's the regeneration of why they both serve a purpose. So in reality, it's the awareness consciously of what we're doing, what we're connecting to. And the beauty of all of this, it goes back to the root of the well-being. It's like, what have we learned? What have we been accepting so long to where, how are we going to change it? A lot of us are here to change it. That I was telling the elder, I was like, a lot of us are here to see it fall apart, to see it crumble. And in that, you're going to have elders or other people who are not in that awareness of where you are, the enlightenment, the awakening, the accepting that truly all of this is perfect and divine, depending on how you see it. And so in that, it's truly either you're choosing to suffer, coming here to suffer, or you're choosing that your life can truly be beautiful as you desire it to be. No one can decide that for you but you. No one can decide your fate. I don't care what tarot reader, I don't care who you go listen to, your pastor, anybody. I don't give a pluck about none of that. They can't decide your fate. Because you have a decision to go live right now. I can choose right now. Let me show you how simple it is. I can choose my awareness is knowing that water is deep. I can swim, but I'm not going to take a chance to go all the way over there. That's called being, I'm aware that it's a possibility that I may not make it over there. So even my awareness is to know that I can go literally a couple 50, 100 feet or whatever, and know that, okay, turn around. See, that's the thing about the awareness of, even a child knows this. They can sense and have awareness of danger or something that, that they, where do you think that comes from? I don't know who your higher power is. What do you think? No one can decide that for you. See, that's the beauty of coming back into your own power, reclaiming your truth. It's like, where did we develop these things? These abusive behaviors. And I don't mean just physically, verbally, and all that. I'm talking about self-abuse. We haven't been abusing ourselves and wondering why we've been going through these spiritual ass whoopings, wondering why we've been going through these things. And then when the nudges is there to change, that's because that's the divine saying, I want you to improve. self-improve. You came here to improve self. You came here to elevate not only yourself, but your lineage, your ancestral lineage. So you can recover the things to bring balance, to bring wholeness back into your reality, into your circumstances. We all going through something right now. My partner and I, or whomever I'm with, y'all going through something. Anytime you're trying to shift or change something, think about if that water was to rise and it's somehow affecting, that ripple is you. Let me give y'all that. That ripple is you. If I throw a rock right, matter of fact, I'll give you a demonstration. Let me see if I can find a rock. Because this is beautiful. I could do this right now. A stick or something. I don't want the phone to fall. It's just this simple. It's like a little stick. Let me see if I can throw it far enough you can see. That's who you are. Did y'all see that? I couldn't even tell if y'all seen that. You probably did, but anywho, I'm gonna try to do it again. That way I can. Somebody out there on a paddle boat. I love it. Oh yeah, I'm glad she out there because that's perfect. This is the perfect analogy. Her paddles is having a ripple effect on everything that's at shore, just like this right here. Do you see that? Even the waves that still coming here, and the ripple effect. That's who you are. What is it, Rumi? What is that quote? You aren't the drop in the ocean, but you are the ocean in one drop. God, that's so beautiful. But what I'm getting at is this. We were at a place where unconsciously we wasn't aware of how, and this is what the cleanup is right now. We're being restored right now. This is, okay, let me talk about the harvest season. This is what the harvest and being restored is all about. You know, when we talk about energetically. This is what's being restored right now. From when everybody talking about the feminine and all this other. Okay, well, let me. Come on, phone, stand up. Okay, let me give y'all this. The distorted feminine is now recognizing, those who choosing to heal is recognizing their part, meaning that not only men, but the women that has affected the men. That's why you're seeing so much of the distortion and the mothers that have kept this shit going. It's like a loop. Not a cycle, but it's like. So that's the thing that we need to be attentive to. Is that when you do see a man out here, and when you do see a son or a little boy, and you see certain behaviors, know that came from something. That goes back to what is his well-being? What is his mindset? Childhood development. What was his experience growing up? But we're so easily to pass judgment. When we do that, we're judging ourselves. To say that, oh, this person is, I could judge their past, and in reality, we all got skeletons. So getting back to the fact of how the restoration, the balancing of scales, meaning that the restoring, this is restoration season. We're being restored. Our soul is being restored. We're being restored spiritually, energetically, emotionally, mentally, physically. We're being restored. Our bodies start to look different. We start to feel better. People, think about you're this warehouse, and think about when a store or when a place has to restock or restore something. Okay, ooh, God. See, you're the tree, right? But you're also the warehouse. Spirit said, let me tell you something. You see, those trees have to leave. Leaves fall away. So those trees have expired. And so has some of the people in your life. I don't think you hear me. See, certain things have an expiration date. See, those entities or those certain generational curses and certain things that have followed you, they have expired. They have been banished. They've been returned to the center. They no longer have a pull on you emotionally, mentally, physically. So how that plays out, is it tries to come through other people, or it tries to show up, and then it's so faint. It doesn't affect you. See, it's like that stick that I threw. Certain people, see, I give you this. See, this is them trying to come in. Oh, see, this is people coming in trying to tell you what to do with your life and tell you how to go about stuff. They come in and this is the effect that it has. I threw a stick, but I don't know if y'all seen. That's the effect it has. Basically, a little ripple effect. But you are all of this. That's whose source of divine sees you at. You are all of that. And you worried about what this person said and how they said. I'm honored that you have taken so much time out of your day to acknowledge me. What's sis say? She said, no one is going to attack someone that they don't see that has value. And I don't mean just value in what you're doing. It's the value that's in you because it's spiritual currency. It's in you, not on you. See, what I mean is, this is on you. But deep down, no one knows the current. Because the current, no one knows how powerful it is. No one knows how to the depths, how deep that goes. No one knows what's growing inside of you. No one knows how dark and murky it is. No one really knows. But yet, in all of that, you still give life to everything around you. No matter how much people accept it, you still give life to your circumstances. Even in your murkiest, dirtiest water, that life still grows. A lotus is formed in the muddiest of waters. A pearl is formed from a parasitic or sand that intrudes inside of the clam. A pearl is formed. So even as these people come, you naturally have a defense mechanism or a divine protection that is, these people are actually aiding your healing journey. That push you into your purpose. Because you've already been living it. It's when you decided to pick up the phone and be like, I accept all, collect calls. I accept all these charges. I accept this. Okay. Oh, man. Even the hidden charges that you didn't see. That $69, $10. What? The hidden. Oh. All of that's coming to the light just for you to realize that. Can you accept it? Can you accept your calling? Because you think you chose it and it chose you. Because you was already given the tools. See, think about the child development thing, the well-being. Had you not had that abusive mother, that abusive father, and this is not to devalue anyone's circumstance, had you not had that experience, where would you have been right now? Had you not had that storm, had you not had that experience with that lover, that partner, where would you have been? That's why it's nothing that someone can do to come and say, well, you should feel this, you should be this. You're only going to create punishment for yourself if you think I should feel or be or be in a victim aspect just as you are. Because I've chosen to go back to that place and grab my crown, brush it off, and restore that internally and wear it externally. How dare you? I mean, that was very brave of you. I give that to you. But no, not over here. See, everyone don't have the courage to do that. See, over here, we're healing. We're healing the fact that what we developed through that childhood development, and that well-being. Tell them, Crow. We're developing that. We're facing that shit head on. Yeah, we unpacking all of that. So for someone to tell me, oh, well, you should feel guilty, that lets me know that they have something that they need to accept or they're running from. So you make it, you take out 5 minutes, 10 minutes in your day to come over here and tell me that you don't feel that this is right or you can't accept this. I'm not asking you to. I'm not asking you to accept anything about who I am. I've already accepted that and embraced it. See, when you get to that place where it is what it is what it is. Because I don't gotta explain. I don't owe you shit. So when you come over here trying to shit on my parade or rain on my parade or poop on me, I use that as fertilizer. And when you rain on me, guess what? I grow from it. When you rain on my parade, baby, you raining on the parade I'm a flower. I'm the tree. So when you try to rain, just know that rain looks different for me. When you're trying to, I'm either growing or I'm in my rain. Literally, rain. So, anywho, the beauty of all this is knowing the greatest knowledge, intelligence is finding a solution to your own problems. And see, it looks different for everyone because ancestrally, how that is connected to your kids. You as a mother and or father, you were given that responsibility. That is an honor until you see that. So you have to see yourself as honorable. That is that's beautiful in my perspective, because it's not to say it's going to be all great and all. As much as I've learned in the duration of how, just by what someone sees, what they take in, by what they hear from others, how it's like a ripple effect, how that can affect your duration, your life, your journey, until you decide that no more, enough is enough. Of course, people aren't going to like it. It's because they never did it. And they don't want you to come shattering their illusion of what they feel has been normal and natural. And really, it's there's nothing you can say or to do but to really through your actions. Because it gets to that place where you don't owe anyone anything. You owe it to yourself to pour into you now. Stop forgetting about you. Stop forgetting about you. Stop. Show up for you. They're going to call it self. They're going to call it anytime you're doing for self. Because, again, people don't know what that looks like. And most of the time, these people are infatuated. Because they're inspired, but at the same time, they hate it. Because the reason why they hate it is because they don't love themselves, and they don't love the aspect of what they hate. So whatever they try to hate in you, they don't love in themselves. And not only they don't love in themselves, but they're afraid to face what they hate within themselves. So they project that hate onto you. So again, ponder on those things, that again, how we all have been affected through the well-being and how we have developed these behaviors. All things connected, because we are here to change that. We are here to recreate that. And when you're doing that, you're going to have so many people they got so much things to say. They're going to make you out to be any and everything, but can you have the courage to keep going? Can you have the courage to keep going and realize no matter what, life goes on with or without these people? Are you ready to enjoy the bliss and the fruits of your labor? Because the Spirit revealed to me in the vision is that your harvest is here. You have put in that grind. You have planted those seeds. And so people are wanting to come, even though they watched, even though they clown and they said all these things. And in reality, when that resistance comes, that's source preparing you for your harvest. Are you ready to receive? See, these people like this, they angry, they angry. But while they were angry, I was out there planting seeds. You were out there planting seeds. See, they say you reap what you sow. So in reality, that's universal law. I'm not ever running from the fact of, you know what I did with this, I realized that someday if that energy comes in, how it came in, it returns. So ponder on the fact of harvest season and how the leaves symbolize people leaving, letting go, but you are the symbolism of the tree staying rooted in your truth. See, that's why a lot of us don't have nothing to worry about. Those that did the inner work, the shadow work, because you stayed rooted in your truth. You stood tall. You didn't have to say nothing. You didn't have to prove anything, because you was that tree just standing there, branches. And you watched as that tree, you observed people that came, they kicked you. Some of them tried to chop you down, literally beat you down. Some of them tried to come, and literally come after your fruit, come after certain things that, again, that was true to you. You stood on that. So then you got some that watched from afar with binoculars, knowing just like, okay, I'm going to wait till they get this. And you got people inching, waiting to come in and just talk about what they did, how they helped you. Not that none of it matters, but now that you have recovered the crown of glory, the innocence, and recover the aspect of who you are, it's your decision on what it is and how you want to move forward with intention. And if you know that you move with pure intentions, anything that's not pure, that's inauthentic, it's just like the trees, the leaves, they just fall away. And those same leaves do not go back to that tree. Those same leaves, that fruit that fall away, does not go back to the same. It falls away, and it, like anything else, let it go. Literally, let it go. And so now you have the power to assess. What was that verse? I forgot who that was. It was like, took all the jokers out of the deck. Now people want to play chess now. I'm going to let you figure that one out. But again, in reality, it's about, again, you are, those of you that know that the God or source, the creator, is within, you now intentionally, you know that every step, whatever you do, is intentional, it's pure, it's divine, it's divinely orchestrated, it's perfect, it's literally what it's supposed to be. And you set the tone for that, because you're establishing. See, sometimes some tree have to be uprooted and be planted somewhere else. See, sometimes you are the tree that brings that divine justice to others around you. Because while they watch and observe, it's the patience. It's harvest season. Be ready. Are you ready to receive? Are you secure and within yourself that you know that no matter what you do, how they speak, they're going to talk whether you're here or there. You deserve this. You deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve this. I deserve it. We deserve this. Because there was nobody there when those nights where you had to cry. When the family or certain people attacked you. When the ones you loved the most turned their backs. And even in that, you knew that someday they'll return. But it's the heart that you have. It's the balance that you have to come within self. Because your healing is generational healing. Past and future. So anything you've done it hasn't ever been in vain. Just know that once the seeds that you planted is like a ripple effect, will affect every generation after you. That's the beauty of this. See, the seeds that were planted before us has affected us up to this moment, and it stops and ends with us. Because you are the Alpha and Omega of your life. And you decide how you create this narrative. You write this narrative. You decide this chapter in your life. You decide if you're going to be the main character or you make someone else the main character. Because you're the main character no matter what. Everyone else is playing a role. So in reality, in all of that, of course they're going to have an issue because you've decided to be the main character. And no one can do that better than you. But who's directing it? Oh, of course, that's Source. That's the creator. So there is beauty in being authentic. Because that's the highest. Divine love, the highest awareness of, frequency. Then as you do that, you're going to realize those seeds that you planted. And then now all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, I forgot about that. And now it comes full circle. It all comes full circle. And that's the beauty of it. Because As a wise man once told me, you don't plant the seed and receive the harvest in the same season. It's you. Peace and blessings. Take care of you for you. Ashe.